Welcome to the Generation UCAN podcast previewing the Houston Marathon. I'm Varun Sriram. 3 Generation UCAN runners looking to qualify for the Summer Olympics in London during tomorrow's race. We're joined by Australian runner Benita Willis, who's already competed in 3 Olympic Games. She'll look to qualify for her 4th tomorrow morning in Houston. Benita, thanks for joining us. Just as a way to start out with, for our audience that may not know you, what's your background in running, and how'd you get started in the sport, and what is it about running that you enjoy so much?
I started running when I was 7 years old. I used to live in a small town in the north of Australia, over near the Great Barrier Reef, and I used to run along the beach with my dad, and I just love the feeling of just being outside and keeping fit, but really just enjoying just being able to run fast and being competitive with both my brothers and my sister. I gradually just started running more and more. Growing up, I was actually more a field hockey player, though. I used to compete for Queensland, my state Queensland, and also for Australia in field hockey. So I used to just run to keep fit for that. But when I was 17, I decided that I kind of preferred running more so than field hockey, and started training a lot more, and made the Olympics when I was only 19 and in Sydney, and the Sydney Olympics was just absolutely amazing to be a part of, and being Australian, being in Olympics in my own country was something that I'll probably never do in my lifetime, and I think that really kind of inspired me to get better.
So how is it different for you this time around? I mean, you experienced the marathon last Olympics in Beijing for the first time at the Olympic level. How's it different training this time around for the Olympics, having already gone through that experience and having already been to the Olympic Games 3 times in your life?
I think that just gives me a lot more experience. Going into the Beijing Olympic Marathon, I didn't really... I'd run a few marathons before that, but obviously not at the Olympic level. But now I've been to the Olympics and run an Olympic marathon. I feel like going into the London Olympics that definitely I've got a chance at doing really well. I'll still be quite young, and but I will have that experience behind me. And experience is something that you just can't get. It just happens over years of running and of competing, and it's something that I'll have in the back of my mind going into the race, and I think that will help me more than anything, really. I mean, obviously at the Olympic level you need to be one of the fittest athletes in the world to do really well, but I can definitely get the fitness. I've obviously got the motivation and got the ability to be right up there at the London Olympics, but now that I have that experience, I think that will just add to my confidence, which is a huge part of running a really good marathon. Having
raced in so many big races, whether it's Olympics or World Championships, do you still get the nerves the week leading up to a race like this where there's a spot on the Olympic team on the line?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I still get nervous for every race that I do. And, going into the Houston Marathon on Sunday, I'm nervous because, I haven't done a marathon since the Beijing Olympics, so it's been 4 years. And I've been concentrating more on shorter races, but ultimately I know that my best chance for an Olympic medal is in the marathon in London. So I'm going to be running in the Houston Marathon on Sunday to get my qualifier for the London Olympics. And yeah, I'm nervous. And I think that nerves are good. If you didn't get nervous, it doesn't matter how old you are, how many titles you've won, or how many races that you've run at the top level. I think that if you get to a stage in your career where you're not nervous for a fairly big race, then I really think that maybe it's time to give it away and do something else.
That's interesting to hear, even after running so many big races. But Benita, what's your training been like? Give us a little look into your training, and also how have you been using UCAN in your training?
In my training leading up to the Houston Marathon on Sunday, we've done it in really 2 phases. I did a half marathon in Vegas at the start of December, and up until the half marathon we were doing more shorter type interval work and slightly less mileage. My mileage leading into Vegas would have been slightly under 100 miles a week, but probably doing about 5 cross-training sessions and 3 gym gym exercise circuits every week, as well as core exercises on 4 days a week. And that had me running really well for Vegas. I won that race in 70:40, which was a course record for that course, and probably my best half marathon since 2006. So that was awesome. And leading up to that race, I think using the UCAN products, and I'd never used UCAN until kind of halfway through last year, and I'd had a lot of problems with being able to ingest fluids and things like that, and really finding something that agreed with my body and allowing my body to recover and to fuel before sessions. And I started using UCAN probably halfway through last year, and I think it really did help me get my training to the next level leading into Vegas. Definitely UCAN will help me in the taper period as well with the carbo loading and also the morning of the race. And obviously during the race itself, I plan to drink cranberry raspberry during the race, and I've got kind of my routine worked out, and I've been practicing it in training, and I'm very confident using the UCAN drinks in my first marathon that I've ever used UCAN, that it's going to go really well, and definitely I'm excited, and it gives me a great peace of mind to know that I'm using drinks in my recovery, in the lead up to the race, and obviously in the race itself, that my stomach's going to agree with, and that I know is giving me a huge advantage, I think, over people that aren't using UCAN.
Well, that's great, Benita. Thanks so much for taking this time, and it sounds like you've done the training, you've worked hard, so just have fun out there. We're definitely pulling for you, and best of luck on Sunday. Definitely have a great race.
Yeah, thank you, and I mean, the support from UCAN has been absolutely amazing, and for an athlete from another country like myself, obviously I'm an Australian, but I live in America, and to have the support of UCAN supporting someone from another country is pretty awesome, and I'd love to bring the product out to Australia and to educate people out in Australia about the history behind UCAN and how they got started and why people should use UCAN, and I think that it would do really well out in Australia, so I'm pretty excited that they may come out to Australia soon as well, which is awesome.
You've been listening to the Generation UCAN podcast. For more information on the sports nutrition of elite and everyday runners, visit generationyoucan.com.